At this point, I'm like, what the Hello, my name is Vladimir Tatabayev, and today we're going to talk about my FHA loan experience. Sit back, relax, grab some popcorn. It's going to be a very casual video, story time with Vlad. Let's dive right into it. All right, I'm going to preface this video with 2 points. Firstly, I'm not a financial advisor, so everything I'm saying is just an opinion. Do as you please with the information I provide. Second, this video isn't going to take a deep dive onto FHA loans, but rather just focus on the mistakes I made and a few tips along the way that maybe you could take and use towards your FHA process. So let's start this story from the beginning. Back in December of 21, stock market was rallying, everything was green. I decided, hey, 100% of my portfolio is allocated to stocks and indices. Why don't I break this apart, diversify, and go into real estate? I figured that if I was never going to take action, then I was never going to take action later. So I dove headfirst, didn't think about it, didn't do too much research, and just went immediately to get pre-approved by a lender. First mistake, I went to a single lender, which was Chase Mortgage, and I did not shop around anywhere else. I called the lender, super nice guy, and I was emotionally attached to the lender. This is a business transaction. Treat it as such. Look at the numbers, look at the statistics, look at the interest rates, look at the APR, and make your decision. And go shopping for multiple mortgages. You have a window between 14 and 45 days in order to shop with various lenders. You could do, 10 different lenders within 14 days, and it'll count as one single hard pull on your credit rather than that 10 different hard pulls. So you should be able to take advantage of that and reduce the amount you're paying in your interest and APR. Mistake number 2, I didn't go with a local lender. Local lenders have credibility in your community and often can close deals significantly faster. And I'm going to elaborate on this a little later, but pick a local lender. It's a lot less of a hassle and a lot less corporate bureaucracy and bullshit. Stick with local. So at the time, after speaking to the lender, we decided that FHA was the best option for me, even though I came into this deal thinking conventional was going to be the solution to my problem. I thought conventional would be ideal because I would be able to close faster and I wouldn't have any problems. But the lender assured me that why wouldn't you just take FHA if your money could go so much further because you have much less of a down payment requirement. You don't need to do that 20% down payment requirement. So I agreed. I said, okay, he knows what he's talking about. Let's go with FHA. My money's going to be treated the same, right? If I'm paying $250,000 for a home, whether it's FHA or conventional, it's still $250,000, and the seller should be appreciative with what I'm offering them. Boy, was I wrong. Mistake number 2. FHA loans are not the same as conventional. Your money does not go as far as a conventional loan or an investment loan because there are so many contingencies with FHA that sellers avoid it like the plague, especially in a seller's market, okay? So no seller was taking offers from FHA. I put at least 10 offers down on various houses, and every time I was getting rejected. Now, I wasn't lowballing these offers either. I was going 40 to 50,000 over ask, and every time I would get rejected. And that's because sellers didn't want a series of contingencies in a seller's market. They want a 30-day close, get it done, get it sold, forget about it, right? So sellers avoided that, which made me have to go for wedge deals. So either significantly overpaying or looking for foreclosures or various offers that might not be ideal. What I ended up doing was I ended up looking for sale by owner, right? So that way they don't have access to the MLS and their advertisement is a lot less. I ended up finding a home that was for sale by owner, making an offer, and them accepting the offer. And the offer was actually below ask. So it was definitely a wedge deal and it worked out in my favor. But this is where the contingency of FHA came in. Once I came into the inspection, they said a series of repairs needed to be done both inside and outside. That included things like painting the garage, painting the exterior window frames, painting the door frames, painting the interior walls, painting the attic, a bunch of painting work, some foundation work, and this was in the middle of winter. So they're expecting me to do this work in the middle of winter, and I can't offer that because it's just not feasible. I tried to explain this to Chase, but this is where that corporate bureaucracy comes in and all the random bullshit that comes with it. They refuse to create a contract to push the repairs past closed. This is what's known as an escrow holdback. An escrow holdback allows you to push FHA required repairs beyond close. That way, you and the bank are liable rather than the seller, and you own the home when you're doing the repairs. Chase decided, okay, we're going to escrow holdback the exterior repairs because it's winter and you can't do it. But you have to do the interior repairs. So I contacted the seller, said, hey, can you do the interior repairs? I don't want to be liable. They said, no, we're going to close this deal if you guys don't do the repairs or you get them escrow held back. So I decided to try to take on the repairs. Worst mistake. Do not put yourself into a liability. I wrote a contract with the seller stating that if he were to pull out of the deal, he would have to compensate me for the money put in. Or if I pulled out of the deal, he could keep the repairs that I have implemented onto the house. But no matter what, this is a lose-lose situation because the liability is just way too high. So this is where I say find a local lender. A local lender would not have to go through this corporate bureaucracy and therefore would just sweep this under the rug and put everything under an escrow holdback so you could finish it within, a 6-month time frame after close. That would make everything easier. The seller would have been happy and we would have closed immediately right then and there. Instead, I had to do an escrow holdback for the exterior and do the work on the interior while also paying attorneys to write contracts for the seller and I to manage those interior repairs. I did the interior repairs. During this time, I was paying for the interior repairs with my credit card because why not earn rewards? Of course, Chase ran my credit again and they suspended my account. They said, you no longer qualify for FHA. Sorry, we have to drop the account. Which means I just put in, $10,000 in repairs and the seller gets to walk away with those $10,000 and I lose everything. At this point, I'm like, what the are you absolutely out of your mind? You just made me do all these contracts and you just dropped the deal on me. Oh, I was furious. Infuriated. It was the worst possible situation I could have faced. I tried to research all my options and I found that there was something called a rapid repull, which allows you to pull your credit immediately the day of, as long as there's change in your credit. So I contacted Chase and I said, hey, I'm going to pay everything off. I'm going to pay all my credit off, rapid repull, and we're going to qualify again. They said, okay, we'll do that. So I paid off all my credit, 2-week process. They ran my credit again and they said, okay, you qualify for FHA again. But at that moment in time, if the seller wanted to leave, I didn't have a loan to leverage, therefore they could, and contractually they would have been in the right and I would have lost all money put into the repairs. This is where I say, stick with the local lender. Stick with the local lender because the local lender wouldn't make you do all this stuff. They don't have to go through all this bureaucratic stuff. It's just straightforward and it would have been done. I got the repairs done, but after the inspection, they kept asking for additional repairs. They kept finding new things and they kept asking me to do more and more work. So this time, we're 3 months into the deal. We're supposed to close January 20th. And at this point, it's like March 15th. And we're getting to the point where the escrow holdback is going to start. And I'm worried that they're going to make me do exterior repairs in conjunction with the interior repairs, not under my ownership. So finally, after all the inspections, we finally closed on the house. After that, I had a 2-month period to do all the escrow holdback repairs. I did the exterior repairs by myself and saved a lot of money in that aspect, and we closed. Long story short, the process was supposed to close January, but we closed in April. There's a reason why conventional is valued higher than FHA, and why my FHA wasn't getting accepted anywhere, especially in the seller's market. So if I could say anything, it would be find a local lender, don't deal with a corporate lender unless you absolutely have to, and understand that FHA just won't go as far. And you have to look for wedge deals, or you're going to have to overpay. One or the other, unfortunately. Especially in the seller's market. Maybe in a buyer's market you could pull it off with FHA, but at the moment, absolutely not. So that's kind of my story. I know it's kind of more of a tangent than anything, but there's a lot of lessons to be learned here. Really, it's run away from corporate lenders. Make sure you look for wedge deals if you have FHA. Understand the difference between interest and APR, because that's going to determine how much the lender is screwing you over. Yeah, don't do repairs. Don't do repairs unless you have an escrow holdback or the seller is doing the repairs. If you're doing the repairs and you're not owner of the house, there's some serious liability there, and it's not worth the risk. Find another lender or find another deal. It's not worth it. So just wrapping up this video, obviously this was me kind of on a tangent, more of a story time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed me rant. If anything, learn from my mistakes and don't make the same ones. If you liked what you saw, subscribe down below, leave a thumbs, and I will catch you on the next one. Thank you.